let me explain something real quick about integrating schools and why you did not have a black teacher, white people who went to school. When they decided to do integration, what they did was they shut down the black schools and fired all the black teachers who were very qualified, brilliant minds, and now are busing black children into white schools. And that is what we called school integration. Get out of town. We did not instead bust them both ways.
Yeah.
That's
it wasn't
white
like
privilege.
white kids were going to the black
That
schools.
is the
Yeah.
assumption that white schools are better, that white teachers are smarter. This is ridiculous. Our country and our economy has been built on the wild intelligence and brilliance of black slaves. Like we think about Southern food, okra. That is African indigenous, and they knew how to grow it here in certain soil. Like, the only reason anything grew in America and the only reason we had anything to trade with other countries and sell to other countries was because black people were so smart that not only did they know how to do certain things in their country, they could translate it in another country where they didn't even speak the language on soil they had never seen. And so to think that a white teacher at a white school is going to be the best solution for other brilliant black children and we're just going to bust them over there is laughable, and it's unexcusable. And education, how we fund education, all of that has got to change. Our country has never apologized for that. And I think it bothers me when my kids learn about, oh gosh, I'm going to pull a blank on her name because I'm so excited right now. The little girl who was the first black girl to enter a white school. And
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so why can't I think of her name?
I know who you're talking about too.
But anyways,
I can't pull the name.
They learn about her during Black History Month. And I'm like, I'm glad for that. Like, I really, really am. But it frustrates me immensely that we also aren't reading about the brilliant black teachers that changed the minds of a generation of white children that they had the opportunity to influence.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we kind of touched on it. But we didn't fully address it. So the housing situation. So when you have the taxes of a property tax, that's funding the schools. So for example, if you were in a neighborhood with really crappy houses and they're very cheap houses, the property tax is not going to be a lot. So that means the school is going to be not funded. And historically, those neighborhoods were black neighborhoods. So the black, quote unquote, black schools were like defunded.
Yeah, and so you have
the
less,
quote unquote, white neighborhoods were more funded.
Yes, exactly. So therefore you're going to get better teachers at schools that pay more.
Because like you said, people in Europe, they don't understand this. Like, how is there such a thing as a good school or a bad school? What the heck?
Yeah,
like that doesn't make that doesn't compute.
I bet a lot of our listeners.
And you have to move into a good neighborhood, quote unquote, to get into a good school, or you're gonna have to send like it's either like, oh, we're sending them to private school, or we're gonna go to a good school. We're gonna move to a good area
of rich black people. For example, Kevin Hart talking about how he hates the fact that his black kids go to a basically all white school because he's rich. Yeah. He's like, he's like, I almost don't like it.
But here's the thing. The reason that exists still in America today is generational wealth. Mm-hmm. So our white people, like our ancestors, have given us generational wealth. That was some of us. I mean, I will, but we all have privilege.
Agreed. I'm just saying that like not all of us are like descendants of slave owners is what I was kind of getting at. But yeah, I agree. Like there's definitely generational wealth, but there's also a lot of white people that like were Italian immigrants and stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
They came to America to be an immigrant for just the same reason. But they did choose to come here.
They chose to come here. Yeah.
I was just saying.
For usually economic gain or freedom. And so...
Because I think there's a lot of poor white people out there that are like, I ain't got privilege, I'm poor as shit. What are you talking about? Generational wealth.
I mean, let me ask you.
No one's ever given me a cent.
Yeah, our family is not like...
No one's ever given me a cent, but I had the opportunity for education.
Yeah.
I was blessed with a name on a resume That sounds white when you haven't met me. There's a lot of things
Not
that
anymore.
I have. Not anymore. No one can pronounce it. Actually, people are very disappointed when they meet me. I'll be honest, because like when I
They think you're gonna be really
corresponded on
cool.
email, and then they expect to meet someone very exotic, and it's like this half Italian girl from Georgia. So it's a big disappointment.
Yeah.
When people see my name first before. Meeting.
That's funny.
Yeah, but that's a privilege that we have, like that we have, right? It's so much easier for us to have a good education. I know this is not blanket across the country. I know the system does not work for a lot of people that are white. That is a very real thing.
That is also true. There's a lot of very poor, very disparaged, very
destitute
and
white
it's
communities
not
for
okay.
sure.
It's not okay. But that's not what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
Well, wouldn't you think they'd be on the same team, though? You'd be on the same part. It's
I
like,
would
think.
want-
wait a
You
minute,
would
let me
think.
get this straight. You're poor, I'm poor. Let's team up. We need to fix this problem, right? Like, wouldn't you think that, like, that? I mean, obviously, I got a different perspective here because, like, I don't know.
I don't think that's how people think.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but like to me, it seems so simple. It's like, oh, you're a poor person, I'm a poor person. High five.
Well, I think all of us, people right now who are undersimplifying it, have a point that we are all brothers and sisters, but the problem is we're just not acting like it. Like that is not to oversimplify it, but we are treating other people like ideas, or we're treating human beings or people across, literally the street from us,
Or statistics.
like a number or
As
an idea or a concept, or we always try to call it saying these people. There's a reason why that's so offensive. You're not only lumping all people who
I
just
think-
simply because they look the same together, just like white people don't want to be all lumped together, but it's like we're just not looking at them as our brother and sister. We're not saying, man, you're hurting. How can I alleviate this? Not just, I'm listening and learning to you.
No, and that's the thing is, like, I think people with disabilities are probably shouting at their screen right now, going, "Hey, sound familiar?" Like it's obvious.
Totally.
It's obviously a different experience, but it's like the same biases, the same prejudices, the same.
Not the
like,
same, but similar.
Similar, excuse me. Similar prejudices, similar biases, similar. It's like that's why I don't like when I.
And you need laws that help you to have a quality of life too.
When I think about like there's like disabled people and they're racist, I'm like, that like people treat you like crap because you're disabled, right? Like the same reason that people treat people like crap just because their skin's a different color. Like and we all need help. We both need help. There's a lot of change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think like you said, it's kind of like we treat people as like an idea, like, oh, black people this, white people this, or whatever. But I think if we actually go into our own hearts and we know personally people like this, I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of friends from all different parts of the world, and I don't think of them as an idea. I think of them as that person. I think it's a lot. It's easy to get caught in that trap of like thinking. As a human, we want to compartmentalize things so that we can just like stop thinking about it. Like, oh, this is this. Done. This is this way. Done. I don't have to think about it. But this is a messy issue, and
That's
so
why
like
we
that's why
say
we have
their
to talk
names.
about it.
That's why
Totally.
it's important for white people to say their names.
Agreed.
That is why
It's important for everyone.
we need to say their names. And one thing that I have been doing that has fueled me over the last 10 years is sometimes I say out loud the names of black people I know who I love who are alive. Because I do not want to ever see anything that says, say her name, Grace Kinyanjui. Do you want that?
No.
I don't want that. That's my daughter. So I say their names while they are living. I say their names when they have passed because they are human beings with actual names. And if we do not come back to that, we're just going to continue to be lost, and it's going to be all like ideology.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it.
No, I'm just saying it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to listen. I'll speak for myself. It feels like I got a lot of catching up to do. Like I got a lot of personal responsibility.
We all do.
And
sorry, keep going.
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel a similar sentiment. Is like I have a very diverse group of people that I surround myself with. Like I don't really hang out with, basic normies. And usually if you're a diverse person, you probably have a diverse culture, or you come from a diverse place, or you've got a different color skin, or like you got different facial features or whatever. But that, just because I'm not racist, that doesn't make me anti-racist. And I think that's kind of the point that we're reaching at in society right now, and especially in America right now. Like, being not racist isn't enough. Like, just simply being not racist, that's just like...
That's kind of the bare minimum of being a good human. We talked about that.
And it's like, and if you want to do
congratulations, you're not a piece of crap.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, so it's like... it's like,
outward, overt hatred towards someone with a different skin color. Yeah, that is racism, but that's like the most boring and obvious form of racism. Is like, I see this a lot where people are, I think the reason why a lot of people are afraid to say like Black Lives Matter or things like that is because they're afraid of seeming like racism bad. And it's like, that's the most obvious thing ever. Yes, of course, racism bad. Everyone knows that. Like, duh, you don't need to say it. But at this point, it's like you said, it's to the point where we need to be actively anti-racist, and that means standing up when your friend says something messed up, or when you hear someone saying something offensive in private, even, or whatever.
A racist joke,
I will be the first one to stand up and say I have definitely said some messed up things. I've definitely, made jokes at the expense of others, and whether they were black or not. Like, I have been a crappy person at times in my life, of course, and I'll admit that nobody's perfect, but I think the main thing is intent and having empathy and like trying to move forward.
Yeah, and I think what you said is important. Our intent does have to be there. That's like base. But our impact matters way more than our intent. And that's also a lot of the problem, is because I've been seeing even people posting or people just talking to me like, man, I'm just going to be like, I need to be more loving, like no hate, like we don't hate, we love. And I'm like, yes, but what's your impact? What's the impact of that? Like, that intent is fabulous.
It's like influence and impact are two different things.
Yeah, like what is the impact that you're going to have because you believe that? And it's time for us to not, the words, we're done. We have to be done as white people. We have to say, like, we will listen, we will learn, and we will act, and we're going to do it all at the same time.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. If you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right over here.